Hey, welcome to another episode of Dustin's Life 365. Always fixing something. And had to fix my face the other day. Yeah, I was changing a tire on a semi, and tire iron over there popped loose and smacked me right in the face. It was a gusher too. But so gotta fix that. Super glue did a good job, but no, on this one, we were trucking and developed a fuel leak. Right there. That bolt, when going down the road, these get to vibrating, and then of course up in here the bracket breaks, and it had pushed back and rubbed against my fuel tank and rubbed a hole in it. So today we get to swap out a fuel tank. I've got an extra off of a project I'd bought, so we're gonna drop that out, put a new one on, and keep rolling tomorrow, I guess. So yeah, I'm probably gonna put a different fender on too, so eliminate that problem. But anyways, literally another thing too that there you can see it peeing out. I literally was a couple hundred miles away, and I put bubble gum and duct tape to slow that down enough to get me home and not drain out all my fuel. But we made her. All right, here you go. Funnel system, hose down to my other tank. Got it parked up on a hill so gravity feeds down to it. And then I'm probably just gonna end up putting that tank on that truck because they both came off of internationals. But anyways, thought you'd like to see my farmer ingenuity. So these tanks are pretty simple to take off. They've got a strap right here, and then there's like a T-bolt coming in from that back side. I gotta crawl up through the frame. It might be a little tough to see, but this one might be a little easier to see here. But so yeah, it's a strap that goes around the tank, and then there's a bolt that goes through the frame. And yeah, you just crank that sucker down right here and it loosens up. And then there's I think 3 fittings on here. You've got your supply line, you've got a fuel return line, and then you've got a vent. So pretty simple. Brackets on the back side that hold these in so they don't move around, and then that strap anchors to the bottom of this bracket right here. So we got to unhook those fuel lines and then loosen these. I'll end up just taking them all the way off so they flop out, but then I'll get the pallet jacks up under here, and we'll just pull this thing out, get it up, and then keep that thing from peeing on me. So we'll just get it tilted up, save as much fuel as we can, then we'll slide the new one in, and then I'll just probably take the skid steer and lift it up and just drain. There's a plug on the bottom of this one. I'll just drain it straight into this tank and be the same fuel going into the new tank. But we'll go ahead and get this off. Fittings aren't the same size. That's a 1 inch. It's a 1 inch fitting, so I'm gonna grab a wrench real quick. Yeah, so this first one was a 13/16, and I didn't even shine the light over there to see. And of course, you know, designers and whatnot. Why can't you just make it so it's the same wrench? It would only make sense, right? We got our 2 lines off, and then this vent, it doesn't connect to anything. It loops down on the back side there. So now the next step is to loosen our 2 brackets, and I'll go get the floor jack, and we'll make sure we get that supported up. And probably not going to be able to get a video up in there. It's super tight, but yeah, you just loosen those up, and I can show you when we get them off anyways, and hold them in our hand and stuff. So here's what I got. I took a pallet with the pallet jack, and then underneath I got 2 blocks, but they're separated because of the curve I want it to cradle. So now I've got all the weight lifted up off of this tank, and now I can come in and loosen those, and it's not gonna fall down. And then I'll probably run a strap around it just to make sure, and then I can just pull it right out. It'll be super easy. All right, we're up underneath it here, and I'm gonna show you something. So, there's a hole right there. You see that? That is, and I just discovered this. So on that front one up there, I got to looking on this back side, okay? You can see, probably not, but anyways, there is a bolt head just on the other side of that bracket that's holding up those airlines. And there's a bolt there. That actually goes all the way through the frame to that T-bolt I'm talking about. And then on this one, apparently at some point it broke, and they just welded it and made it shorter. So that should actually go through that hole, and I could get an impact on this back side from underneath. And that's what I remember on that other one that I took that tank off of. But I just realized that because I was looking at that front one to see how freaking difficult that's gonna be. So really all I gotta do is just get this guy loose, and that front one should come easy. Really easy, actually. I mean, it's up and next against the transmission there, but I should be able to get it off pretty easy. But this one should be the easiest one, but it's not. But yeah, I'll get a tool figured out for that. All right, so we're gonna improvise. I did get the closed end on it, and I can probably get another crank on it, but that sucker is super, super tight. Who knows when that thing was taken off. So I'm gonna improvise. See this pin right here? I just took the washer off, and the little cotter pin, and I'm literally just gonna drive that out, and then that'll loosen this up, and then I should be able to get that off easy. And then what I'm gonna do is probably just get a longer bolt then to go back through the frame and kind of fix it right, I guess, if you want to say that. I mean, shoot, why didn't they do that to start with? But not their problem, I guess. It's mine now. But I'm gonna just drive that thing out and get this one off that way, and then that one I'll go ahead and unbolt the correct way. A little awkward to really get a good swing on it though. Is loose now. So that's good news. Yeah, so you can see in here now, I just went ahead and popped that pin out, and she's loose. So this one's loose. I've got it supported by that pallet jack underneath. So now we'll climb up to that front one. We'll get that front one done. I'm gonna have to probably come in from underneath, and that is a tight fit, so we'll see what we can get for a video. Not real sure. All right, so here's where we're at. Move the light down underneath it here to take a look, and I can get my breaker bar on it, and I got my light up in here, and you can see that's my bolt. And I did give it a good turn, but that's all the space I've got to work with here. So, there, she's coming loose. All right, let's get this thing off of here. That's nice. I'm glad this one's a little easier. So, it's one spline at a time on a socket, but I don't know, I can probably go a little farther. Ugh. There we go. All right, I'll get this off, and we'll jump back out. You can see it's leaking again. That's how she's been leaking. So, but we'll get this off. We got this off here. Both of those straps are loose, and then there's a pin underneath it there also. But I might just pop those pins out, take the steps completely out of the way, and just make that a little easier coming in and out. Actually, I know that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna pop those pins out, just take those steps all the way off. There we go. So we got the steps completely off. Pulled those pins out from underneath, and these steps just come off, and these are the brackets that hold your tanks on. And now, just pull her out. Don't want to make a mess on the floor, but there, I've got one out. I'm gonna go ahead and probably unstrap it and lift it up so that this hole, let's see if we can get a good shot here. So here's all my duct tape literally from the other day on the road. I mean, do what you gotta do, but right there's the hole. So now I'll pull all that duct tape off. And this tank's gonna have to go to the welding shop because I can't weld aluminum. I've tried, I suck. It looks like spackled chicken poop, but they can patch that and fix that, and then I'll have a good tank. But yeah, there's a drain plug right under here. And like I said, I'll just lift it up super high and drain all the fuel that's in there into the one that I put on the truck. So there we have it. That's off. And actually what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna go pull a fender off of a different truck, and I'm gonna fix this one so that it doesn't happen again. But we'll go do that. That's outside. That's gonna be hot, but we'll go grab another fender. So anyways, got that part of it done anyways, halfway there. All right, so I just pulled the fender off of this one. It's the exact same truck. It does run. This is a project truck. Clutch is about to go out on it. AC don't work. It's a smaller motor. This is a Cummins ISM. It doesn't pull the greatest, but so anyways, I just stole this fender. That other truck is what I use primarily. So we're gonna go ahead and put this fender on. Sorry I didn't get the video of it. I kind of forgot. All right, so I got that new fender in, and I'm fixing to kind of mount it. Started to warm up, so I opened the door in the shop. The sun's headed to the west, so at least it's not directly popping in and making it hotter, but it is hot. We're 90 something today, but oh well, got some fans going. But we'll go ahead, we'll get that fender kind of mounted up and put in. All right, there we go. Got a new fender on. And this one is not all tore up, and I used some fender washers there. That goes to the cab mount. I used all new hardware. Just, you're in here. I had to use a lock nut on that one. That one is really tough to get to, but see how that one, like in that area, it's not all broken. Let's look at this old one here. And it's cracked, and then cracked there, cracked there. That hole's completely wallered out. I mean, that is just years of washboarded roads vibration. That fiberglass, you know, it just sits here and just shakes. But man, that sucker is solid now. So next step, I'll go grab that tank, and we can throw that sucker on pretty quick. And All right, we got it up into place, and I had to use a ratchet strap to get this one, and that's that short one. And I didn't have a bolt that could go through the frame, so I went ahead and just put it back the way that it was. So now I'm gonna crawl underneath of there and crank those suckers down. All right, that one's tight. Now I'll crawl underneath and get that other one. All right, there we go. I got it tightened down. On my truth. Well, it didn't fall off, so that's good. I think we're good. So now I'm gonna get the fuel lines hooked up, and all right, so here's the plan. Got a funnel here. There's a plug right underneath it here. And I'm gonna take the skid, I'm gonna lift this up, and then I'm gonna take this block out, pull that plug. She should start flowing. So I guess wish me luck. That made a hell of a mess, but we got it going now. All right, so we did make a hell of a mess. Looks worse than probably what it is, but yeah, I pulled that plug and it kind of went too quick, but I got most of it in that tank. So now I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna take these blocks out, level it, and then we should be able to finish it off. All right, so we'll get the rest of this drained out and be good. We'll pull that plug and it should just flow right through. So I'm gonna say this project is done. We got her pulled out. All right, that tank is empty. That tank is full. I moved the truck over and I kind of started washing off some of that diesel that spilled all over, but this job is done. God, I'm filthy. Crawling underneath of these things and around these things, you're never clean, but anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.